People who don't like me don't stop my praise. The enemy is doing the absolute best he can to discourage you and to whip you to make you feel like you're not gonna make it to your next. Do I have a witness in here? Because you don't need to be around somebody that's intimidated about your future. You don't need to be sitting by somebody that's jealous of what God's getting ready to do. If you are discouraged that that yoke tonight has been broken, I come tonight with the prophetic declaration that there is nothing that shall be able to stop you from getting to the place that God has ordained for you to be. Whatever is standing before you, it has no power. Tell them you are unstoppable.
Good night, family. What's up? How is everybody doing tonight? Blessed Wednesday to every single person that is checking in. All right, I'm seeing the shares over there on Facebook kicking off already, and that me like, me like when time as soon as the intro a roll, wanna just start to share out the show. Me like that energy there. I'm gonna keep it up. All right, the ones who haven't shared it yet because the energy no come phone away yet, make it come right now. Just click that share button. All right, I'm seeing a lot of people sharing over here on Facebook, and I like that. Thank you so much for the shares. Remember, once you share, I can see it on my end. I wish YouTube did have that feature there, where once you share, once you click the like button, you could have see exactly who click or who share. YouTube not have that feature yet, but them need to get on the ball. But Facebook has that feature, so thank you so much to the persons who have already started to share out the program. I rate and respect that. All right. Now, once again, if you haven't started to share yet, share it to every group you possibly can share it to on Facebook. All right. Share it to your profile, share it to your page, and the people on YouTube, share it over to Facebook, share it to your WhatsApp contact, and invite someone over to the program tonight. And if you invite somebody and you actually see the person in the comment section, let me know so the person come over and you invite them so we can give them a shout out. All right? Yes, easy. Now, family, listen, we have a very touching and sad one tonight. And the reason this young lady said that she wanted to share her experience is because this very same program gave her the strength to escape from her situation. She explained that watching Unstoppable Live gave her the strength to walk away from the situation, the abusive situation that she was in. Now, if that is not God at work, then I don't know what it is. Now, she explained that she went through a lot through her life, and she's going to get into that tonight. But before I introduce her to the program, I just want to make sure I say, lock in the number, the calling number in our phone from now, so that after she is completed sharing, I want the Unstoppable family, my loyal, dedicated listeners, I want each and every one on right now who has a positive word for this young lady tonight to call in and speak with her, because I'm not saying that's what she wants, but it wouldn't hurt for her to get a positive word from Una tonight. So the number is 754-317-5747. Lock it in on the phone from now. So once on a year the phone line open, you can start calling. Alright, because you don't know how it go already. Once we set the phone line open, sometimes it's hard for you to get through. So lock the number from now. Alright, let me jump to the sponsor so that we can invite the guest to the program. Alright, and without any long talking. Now, the sponsor for tonight's show is none other than Slam IPTV. Now, you already hear me talk about Slam over and repeatedly. Right? Now, Slam IPTV is the service where you can get channels from all around the world. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can get channels from Slam IPTV. And we are talking about great channels. We're talking about all of the prime channels where you have to pay extra from your cable company. You can get it from Slam. Alright, and the number is 647-858-4337. You can call them straight or you can WhatsApp them, as well as you can hit them up on their social media pages, Instagram and Facebook at slam_IPTV. Alright, now tonight's topic, it says, he was there for me after I was raped by 2 police officers in Jamaica, but then he started abusing me. All right, now we can already understand where this is going, so that's why I want everybody, like I said, to lock the number from now. So once I open the phone lines, we can just ring off the phone. Now I'm going to introduce the guest to the program, but before I do that, let me remind you of the rules of Unstoppable Lives platform. We do not allow disrespect. Monique, big up yourself, blessings, thank you for checking in. We do not allow disrespect. You are never allowed to call my guest a fool, a dunce, a idiot, a jackass, a yamed, or anything of the sort. If you choose to be disrespectful on the platform, you will be blocked. No questions asked. We are all adults here, I would assume. So let's watch the program and be respectful. All right? With that said, call a good night again. Thank you for waiting.
Good night, Unstoppable. Good night again. Good night, Unstoppable family. Before I start, I just want to tell you guys a big thank you to everybody who is here, who has been here. You guys have been there for me without even knowing. So I just want to tell you guys thanks for that.
And thank you for stating that. That was powerful. And you see, it's testimonies like yours, you know, even the one you're going to give tonight. And I say it all the time, that people sharing their experiences, they're not only sharing to help themselves, but they're helping people out there who's listening, and you're a perfect example. So thank you.
Yeah. So my story started. I'm gonna start when I was a bit younger. So I don't remember a time when my mother and my father were together. I knew they were together during my lifespan, but I don't remember that time. It was so long ago. So my mother and my father had actually split up. My mother got married to a Canadian and she migrated. After she left, I was living between my dad, my aunt, and my grandmother, circulating between the 3 of them during the week. I'd go to my aunt on the weekends to get my hair done, go to my father Monday evening for my lunch money, and then I'd spend the rest of the week at my grandmother's house. So that was how I would normally spend my weeks, going to primary school, going straight up to high school until I was old enough to take care of my own hair. I would just stay at my dad's for the remainder of high school. I remember growing up, I was a big lover of netball, like the biggest netball fan ever. I had everything for netball. I knew everything about netball, but going at the grade that I was in grade 4 at the time, I was not allowed to join the school netball team. But that didn't discourage me. That didn't stop me from staying back in the evenings, watching them practice, watching the match, trying to go with the team when they have a away match to watch and stuff like that. So I remember one particular evening, I was at school and they were having a home match, or another school was coming to our school to play. And the match was supposed to start like early, but before I get into that day I had PE, so I had my PE uniform on and I had my school uniform in my bag. and I was going to a shift school. Normally, they would be able to identify us via the uniform blouse because it would be a different color. One shift wearing pink, the other shift wearing white. So they would be able to identify us via the uniform blouse. But because I had on my PE gears with my house color, the teachers didn't know what shift I was on. So I was just there lurking around the school. I was on the morning shift. So I was just there lurking around the school waiting for the match to start. It ended up that it started raining and the match didn't start until later down in the evening, probably a little before 5 o'clock, because I remember the other shift let out during the match. So while watching the match, one of my teachers from my shift recognized me and said, "What are you still doing here? Go home. It's time for you to go home. Look how long school over. Your parents supposed to look for you." And she sent me home. On my way leaving the school, I was trying to go through the back gate, which would lead me through a little community, just a little shortcut, and I would get to my bus stop quicker than having to go all the way around the road, walking out the hot sun, go all the way down, and then come back around to my bus stop. So I was trying to go to the school back gate to get to the bus stop, and the teacher stopped me and said, "No, walk on the main road, walk, go straight down, don't walk through there." But me being a child, being rebellious, I decided to go through the front gate and then still go through the shortcut. While walking through the shortcut, I remember I stop at a local shop and I buy $50 chicken back and two festival, like $50 for the chicken back and the two festival barbie fried chicken back, because that was the thing back then. And I remember I stopped at the shop and I bought that, and I was just walking, eating, and almost at my bus stop, I saw a car heading towards me, but I needed to go across the road. So I stopped to wait on the car to pass before I go across the road. And instead of passing me, the car stopped in front of me. The driver asked me if I knew where the Chase Hospital was, which is right beside my primary school. So I was trying to give him directions, but I'm saying go around this corner, go around the other corner, go up the road, and then you go see it right there. So it was kind of confusing. But looking back now, I know that he knew exactly where it was, but he was acting as if it was confusing. So he kept asking me, and I was telling him the same thing, giving him the same directions over and over. And then he asked me if I could come in the car and show him because his brother was sick. There was another man in the back of the car, and they need to get to the hospital right now. But looking at this man, like immediately when the car stopped the first time, my heart sank, and I felt it like in my gut that something was going to go wrong. So I didn't want to go in the car with him. I told him, "No, I can't come. My parents is waiting on me. My teacher is going to beat me if she see me back at the school and stuff like that." So I was telling him all of that, telling him that I can't come. And he started getting aggressive. He said, "Look, a girl coming out the car." And when he said it the first time, I felt like I wanted to cry. And then him say it again. And he said, "Look, a girl coming out the effing car. No." And people me I tell them the same time I pee up myself and I start crying and I say, "No, I have to go home, the hospital they're right up the road." And by the time I was there and he was yelling at me, the other man come out at the back of the car and him grab me in the car and them start drive. And I remember banging on the windows and screaming at the other school children, the other adults standing at the side of the road. And
Take your time. Take your time.
nobody
Take your
ever
time.
tried to
Take your
stop the
time. I
car.
understand. I understand. It's all right. Take your time. Viewers, she did explain, so bear with her. She did explain that she probably would have broken down talking about this situation, so please bear with her. It's not easy for her to talk about, so please be understanding and bear with her, all right? Take your time, hon. Anytime you're ready, you could start again. Take as much time as you need.
Yeah, so I remember just banging on the car door and on the windows and screaming for help. And we were passing a lot of people on the road because it was like 5:30 in the evening. Everybody was coming from work. People were coming from school, you know. The road was just popular. We were passing a lot of people. And I remember screaming and nobody was trying to help me. And after we passed the crowd and we got to a lonely area, I remember feeling just so disheartened because I said, "Look how far I reached. Nobody not try to help me. I'm not seeing the police are come yet." And the men were just yelling at me. I remember one of them, like, I don't remember if he was trying to hit me in my mouth or something, but him let me straight in my mouth and my mouth start bleed at the same time. And I remember just thinking in my head that, you know what, them are gonna rape me, them are gonna kill me. This is it. Because at the same time, a lot of girls were going missing in Jamaica, like a lot of young girls my age were going missing. At the same time, Ananda Dean was missing. And I remember after the situation, watching her story on the news and crying about it. So it was in that same time when this thing was just going around. And I remember thinking that, you know, my family are going to go on the news, they're going to look for me, they're going to cry, they're not going to know which path to find me. I remember just thinking all of that. And we eventually reached to this abandoned house, like, and looking at it from the outside, you would think that it was abandoned, that nobody lived there. But when you reach on the inside, you could see that people were there regular, like maybe it was a hangout spot or something like that. So I remember them taking me inside the house and telling me that nobody's gonna come and save me and they're gonna kill me, and they were just telling me all the things that they were gonna do to me. And they put me in like this room, and there was like a table in there or a bench or something, and a lot of clothes on the ground. And one of the men came in the room and he like threw the clothes on the bench and tell me to sit down on the bench, but he had a gun in his hand. And it's like every time when he would point it at me or probably wave it in my direction or something like that, I would flinch. And when he realized that I was afraid of the gun, he started mocking me with it, like pushing it in my head, putting it in my mouth, like just rubbing it all over my body and just mocking me with the gun. And I remember just being there and crying, and I remember asking him to just please kill me before them do anything else to me, because I wouldn't be able to bear it. I just remembered asking them that over and over, just kill me before you do anything, just kill me before you do anything to me, because I didn't believe that I would make it out of that situation. Either way, they instructed me to take off my clothes and I didn't want to do it, so they ripped my clothes off of me and they took turns raping me like over and over. It felt like hours I was there just feeling numb. At one point I felt like I was having an outer body experience, just standing up, looking at myself, going through that experience. I didn't feel like, after a while, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't there anymore. After that, they stopped and they were at the front smoking and drinking and laughing and just talking about what they just did to me, as if it was something good, as if they just finished playing football or something like that. And then I remembered hearing a lot of shots started firing, and I jumped up and put on my clothes because I felt like it was them firing at me because it was right outside. I jumped up and I grabbed my uniform out of my bag and I just put on my tunic. I didn't even put on the blouse. And I heard running at the front, so when I look outside, I didn't see anybody, and I decided that this was my chance. I just grabbed my bag, I ran with my shoes, everything, and I just ran until I saw this building, and like it was a gate to the back of a big building. And when I went through the building and I came around the front, I saw a security guard, and he started creating alarm. So, look, girl, I'm here, where I come from. Look how long school over. I couldn't get it out for telling what happened to me. And some other lady rush over. Them called the police and my parents and everything. I remember through the whole experience, like going to the police station back and forth, Sisoka, CDA, everywhere, trying to find the men, just telling the story over and over and over and over. I became numb. It just felt like telling a story. It never feel like I did something happen to me anymore. It just felt like I something here and me I tell somebody else. Either way, that past, them never find the man them. Them never find them. And that past, grew up going to high school. I remember just having
Hold on a
guidance
moment.
counseling session.
Hold on a moment. There's not even words that I can say to express Jesus. At what age did this happen to you?
I was probably 9 or 10.
And these were grown men, right?
Yeah, probably like 20, 24, like in their early 20s.
You said you started seeing your guidance counselor, and what happened?
I just started remembering having constant guidance counsel sessions from primary school straight to high school. Just remember having to go to guidance counselors every day because I would constantly fight with all the boys in my class. I wouldn't want to come to school because I just hated being outside of my home, being outside of my comfort zone. So I remember always having to have someone there to talk to me, tell me that, you know, you have to do it, you'll get over this. One day you'll feel better. And eventually it did work. I did get to a point where I don't believe that I went back to myself, but I found a new self where I could laugh again, I could smile, I could have friends, I could socialize, I could go, I could be a normal person, normal-ish person. And then
Were your
going,
parents in your corner after this happened? How did they
yeah,
react to the
definitely.
situation?
My mother came back to Jamaica. After that, when she heard about it, she was here within a week. My father didn't let me out of his sight. He carried me to school every morning, come for me every evening. My grandmother, everybody was there for me.
That's good.
Everybody was there for me.
Did the incident affect you in school afterwards? Did it affect you in any way in school?
Um, it did, but I would say for the better because I didn't have any friends. I just kind of focused on my schoolwork. I didn't really talk to anybody just from one class to the next, just studies from school over. I'm gone straight home and just studied. It was just schoolwork. I never focused on anything else.
And other than your guidance counselor, did your parents try to get you any form of counseling or anything like that?
Yeah, I did remember seeing a therapist, and I did remember being on depression medication because I became a cutter in my teen years. When I was like 13, 14, I started cutting myself. So my guidance counselor did suggest that they took me to a real therapist, and I did go through therapy. I was on medication for probably 4 years.
So you started cutting yourself to what? Numb the hurt that you were feeling?
Yeah, because it was like if I can hurt me as much as I can, then nothing that nobody else does is gonna be painful. It's not gonna hurt me because I've done worse to me. I just had that mindset.
I can see the comment section, and right now the love is pouring out for you. It's just pouring. The viewers can all feel your pain, and even though we didn't go through it, but we can hear the pain in your voice just by you reciting what happened to you. And this isn't even the half of what happened, because viewers, she has more to get into. Based on the title, you would have noticed it said she was raped by 2 police officers, and she hasn't gotten to that part yet. So if you think she got there, she's not there yet. So now everyone can understand why I said please make sure to prepare to call in tonight, because we need to hear it from you. We need to hear your voices tonight on this one. And though she might have escaped her situation, and though these things may have been in the past, she's clearly very much still hurting from it. Continue, please.
Yeah, so in high school I was doing very well. I remember sitting my first CXC in grade 8. And from grade 8 I just started doing subjects. By the time I was in grade 9, I had 7 subjects. I did a few more. I ended up with 9 because I didn't pass all of the rest that I said. And I remember doing work experience at Island Grill in Sovereign. And it was a fun time. It was the best time of my life, honestly. It was good. I felt mature. I felt like an adult, going to work every day, going home in my little t-shirt and stuff. And after the work experience was done, they offered me and another girl from my school and a few other students to work for the summer. So that was a big deal for me. Everybody was excited for me and stuff like that. At this point, my mother had gone back home. She was here for probably 5 years, 6 years. And then she went back home to be with her husband and her other kids that she had over there. After that, I was there. The girl from my school that was picked with me to do the summer work program, we became best friends because, she was the only person I knew from before. So we became best friends, started going to each other's houses, start hanging out after work, outside of work, and stuff like that. So one night we decided that we were going to watch a movie after work, and it wasn't any popular movie. We just decided that we wanted to watch a movie. We had just gotten paid, and we were happy, so we decided that we were gonna watch a movie. We watched we were working a night shift, and we got off at 12. The store closed at 11, clean up for an hour, and then we left at 12. The movie started at 12, and the movie ended at 2. But back then it wasn't hard to get taxi. The road was still popular. Taxi was scarce, but it was still there. And I remember I was going to Papi and my friend was going to Half a Tree, and there were more Papi and taxis coming up than what was going to Half a Tree at the end of the movie. So I decided to wait with her until she got a taxi. So we're there waiting. 30 minutes, no taxi, and then the road started getting more and more empty. So we decided that, it would be best that she come and stay with me because more Papi and taxi is there, and we can't get anything for her to go home, and we're not sure if after she reach her half a tree, she'll get a taxi for go home anyway. So we decided that it was best she come to my house. So we went back on the other side of the road, but during this time there was a police car patrolling up and down the road the whole time. I noticed the car because the first time we were going across the road, the police van stopped behind a taxi that stopped to make we go cross. I didn't notice the van before, and my friend saw it again, and she said, "How much time the police van here go pass yourself?" And I remember saying to her that, the police have to patrol a certain area, so probably them just drive around me and need to make sure everything alright. And we're so late night now. And then when we were going back across the road, after we go back across the road, I remember seeing them come up and they turn at the bottom stoplight, they turn at the top stoplight, they turn at the bottom stoplight, and come back up on the side that we were on again. When they came up and they stopped, they asked us if we didn't realize that we were the only two people on the road, that there's no more cars, nobody else, not even a madman or one dog. That is what the police officer said to us. And we kind of laugh it off and I say, yeah, but one taxi soon come because one just gone up and all of them something there. So they offered to give us a ride to Papi and they offered to ensure that we reach home safe. During this time, I thought that was exactly what they were going to do. So we hopped in the van, no questions asked, because it's police officers. They are recruited to protect and serve us and make sure so all right. So we thought that was what they were going to do. We hop into the van and immediately them never go straight for go Papi and them turn off of the road. Them start go on a Burger King side for go back at Barbican Panigani Avenue where they so the same time I said to my friend, where are they going? And my friend, like, she's more outspoken because of my first incident. I was kind of shy, kind of quiet. So I turned to my friend, instead of saying it to the officer, I turned to my friend and said, where are they going? Why didn't they go straight? And my friend said, I know me if ask girl, no them if ask no your yard where I go. So when she said that, they heard and them turned around and said, no man, we just a drive girl on yourself to cut out the traffic and whatever. Remembering that I went to New Providence, so I know everywhere for around this stuff to go back a Papi in. I used to take the 31 or the 61, I don't remember which bus, but I used to take the bus where drive through round this and go back right to Papi in a morning this. So me assuming that I probably them just I take the long way because them want to talk, because one of them did take a liking to my friend immediately as we reach out of one I tell her so she look nice and whatever. So me just assuming say them I take the long road because probably them want to talk and stuff like that. When my sister them drive past the only other exit for go back up a and I start feel that same sinking feeling in my stomach. I'm going to turn to my friend and me and say, you know what? My grandmother live a Barbican, so since I'm a Barbican, I gotta just make them let way out. I'm gonna go over my grandmother. I will go over my grandmother to stay till the morning. I have clothes over there we can change and all of them something there. When I said that, the police they make an immediate U-turn, and one of them turn around to me and say, "We're not gonna know tonight. Anyone not go wish for we are carrying on." So immediately my friend start shout and she start scream and she start argue with them, and the man back him gun for her and say, "Yo, sit down and relax yourself, man. If you don't relax yourself, everything will be alright." And them a drive and them a drive and them a drive and them end up reach at this them drive go down Power Road, them reach at the dead end from like a open lot. It was a residential area. And them drive go down on the end of the road, one open lot was there, and them drive go at the back of the open lot. Like for some reason them have keys to the lot because it was padlocked. For some reason them have keys to the lock. Them open the lock. Them drive go in and them drive go all the way to the back of the lot, the darkest part, and there's some holy tree. Immediately as them stop, the driver come out, grab my friend out of the van and carry her on the back. And him never waste no time when I doing what him a do to her. I remember being on the van and just I beg them and I say, "Please don't do this, don't do this. I go through this already. I already know what it feel like. Like just please, like why not do this? Why this have to happen?" And I remember the man just said to himself, "Just shut up and relax and everything I got alright. Just shut up and relax and everything I got alright." And I remember just lie down while I take off my clothes and just I said that in my head, just shut up and relax and everything I got alright. I remember just saying that throughout the whole ordeal, just shut up, relax, everything I got alright. Shut up, relax, everything I got alright. Just saying that in my head over and over and over. Until eventually them stop, put back in the van and them carry go Papi and them drive around the park like probably 7 times, probably 10 times. Them just a drive around the park over and over and over, probably for interest and a bad night of them, I don't know why. And then them just let we out. And before them let we out, I remember them empty out my bag and them take my passport, which I was using as the ID, and them take a picture of my TR and throw it back in my bag. Them take my passport and them take my friend's phone and fear ID as well. But I feel like the only reason why them never take my phone was because my bag did have a little pocket on the front when my phone and my money did the in there, so and them never empty out that part, them just empty out the big part. So as soon as them let where I run across the park to my bus stop and my friend come with me. As soon as me reach at the bus stop, my daddy and me I cry, I take out my phone, me I try to call my father, me I try to call everybody, but I not get them like at 5 o'clock in the morning now. And I'm not getting nobody phone. Me I try to call everybody, I'm not getting nobody phone. Same time I see this guy who run taxi in my area. Where him at the first place when I see when I know me and my friend sit down at the park a ball, like literally just a crying, I don't know what to do. Cause we don't know if them gonna come back for we or what. Me I say to her, I say I better walk go up the road in case them come back, them not see we and all of them. So as soon as I see the taxi man, it was like a God sending. So we run across the road, I'm jumping in the car and me I try to tell him what, but like we can't explain nothing. Him realize say like my pants can't, but my friend now have on the clothes basically. Cause she did have on a skirt and then cut it off her and she just like wrap it around her waist like a towel, and I try to hold it together with her and them, and he must say like what happened now, I try to explain to him so we just get raped and whatever. So like this man was a man where been like attracted to me for the longest time. From the first time him see me, him been want my number, all of them look for something there. So, but I never usually give him the time of the day because I was like 17 years old, him in my 20s. I know so that wasn't something my parents would agree with, and I just never interested at first. So, no, after this,
All right,
him carry me home.
let me just clear up that for the viewers. All right, so the taxi man who pulled up, for those of you listening and probably got a bit confused, it's someone that she knew previously before he pulled up on the scene. All right, so it wasn't just a stranger; it was someone that she knew, and he's a taxi operator. All right. Thank you so much to Merville Mackey for your PayPal contribution. I appreciate it. Cheryl, thank you so much for your Zelle contribution. It's appreciated. Much love. Continue for me.
Yeah, so after he pulled up and carried me home, and he just like we go home, we cool off for a little while. My friend decided say she wanna go home. So I did take him number. I'm call him back and ask him if he could have dropped my friend home because she never did a go take no taxi or anything like that. So him did willing for it, but him say him could have come back the same time. Would have to give him like a time because him a work and really. So sorry, no problem. Me and my friend end up drop asleep and we never wake up back till late down in the evening, like after 3, 4 them time there. I realize I'm get a whole heap of missed call from him. So I call him back
So
and him
you told the taxi operator, but you didn't tell your parents. You didn't tell anyone else other than the taxi operator.
no, when everybody saw the missed calls, because I was calling everybody frantically, my father, my cousin, my brothers, my sisters, like grandma, everybody, when they saw the missed calls and they were calling me back and nobody was getting me, like it kind of started a panic, but I just told them that it was okay. I was just stranded and I needed a ride to come home because I just never want to talk about it
So you kept
at the
the
point
rape.
when they were calling back.
You kept the rape from the officers to yourself. You didn't tell. Why?
Because to be honest, like the first one, they tried to find the men and it was unsuccessful. And they did take my ID, they did take a picture of my TR, and they told us that with my TR number, they would be able to find out who our parents were. And if I ever reported it, they would kill us before they found them. So it was just like a threat, and honestly, I never want to deal with it. I just wanted to forget it. I never want to go through this again. I just want to make it seem like I never meet happen to. I never want to think about it. I never want to go to a police station. I never want to go to court. I never want to back and forth. I never want everybody to call me and ask me if I'm alright. I just like, honestly, at that point, I was just like, want my friend for go home so I can just end my life and just over with it. Nobody enough know what happened. Them can just bury me a morning or whenever them get the chance, and that's just it, because obviously I'm not supposed to live. That was just the mindset with me have.
So just
So
for
that is
clarity.
why I didn't tell anybody.
So just for clarity, these officers were never caught. You never got any justice for that rape, or even the first one.
No.
So she was raped twice, 2 different occasions, and got no justice. None whatsoever. Oral, thank you so much for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate it. All right, so now you're getting into your relationship situation. What happened next?
So after this incident, I was still trying to go back to work, still trying to act like nothing happened. So I called in sick for 2 days, and then after that I went back to work like nothing happened. But my friend had resigned, so it was hard being there alone, knowing what I went through and all of that. So I decided to resign from my job as well. I told my mom that I just wasn't feeling well. I was afraid of the night shift because of what happened to me as a child, but I didn't tell her that it happened to me again. So she said that it was all right. I could just go back to school because that is what she wanted me to do anyways. So I could just take the rest of the summer and relax and go back to school September and everything would be all right. So that is what I intended to do. At this point, my parents were financially supporting me. I was living with my father, but he had got married and went to live with my stepmother. So he left me in the house by myself. So I basically was living on my own, but my stepmother ensured that I had grocery like every 2 weeks or probably once a month. She would send grocery, and my mom would also send money, so I'd have pocket change and money to buy anything else that I wanted. So I was kind of well taken care of. Different from that, anytime I wanted to go on the road or to get anywhere, it would be the same taxi man who became like my best friend. Like any night when I was crying about what I went through, he would be the only person I could call, because I wouldn't want to call my friend and, bring her back through all of that because she went through it with me. So he would be the person that